SCP-1128. This SCP might be the shitty excuse some of you use to justify why your smelly ass still hasn't showered. And honestly, after hearing this, I almost respect the commitment. SCP-1128 is an infohazard, meaning that if you know what it is, you're in terrible danger. Yeah, tragic, whatever. So, allow me to describe it in detail. Just kidding. I'm not trying to get you yeeted into another dimension through your screen, unless you're not subscribed, that is. Here's what I can say. SCP-1128 is a massive aquatic predator that doesn't just swim through water, it swims through information. The second you learn what it looks like, you're marked. Doesn't matter if you read it, heard someone explain it, or saw a doodle on a napkin. Your brain now has the data, and that data really wants you dead and wet. At first, nothing happens. You go about your day, wash your hands, maybe throw water balloons on an unsuspected passerby. Then, the moment you fully submerge in any body of water, any depth, any amount, everything flips. One victim was literally dragged into a glass of water. Worst thirst trap in human history. Next thing you know, you're dumped into a dark, open ocean and chased for hours by something massive you can't escape. Victims die from drowning, exhaustion, or whatever gets them first down there. The only way to survive is to have the IQ of a goldfish, meaning you don't remember shit, or to get sedated and hit with amnestics before the knowledge sticks. That's why containment is an absolute flop. All records are shredded, survivors are memory wiped, and if you so much as describe it in charades, that's a full lockdown. Anyway, stay hydrated, just carefully. SCP-835. SCP-835 looks like coral. It also grows like coral. Oh, and it's made entirely of human body parts, so it's not coral. Picture a massive pile of polyps sitting on the ocean floor, each one about a meter wide, weighing God knows how many tons. And the shell is actually compacted bone. And those caps covering each polyp are actually tooth enamel. And the tentacles appear to be mutated tongue cells that are strong enough to dent steel and sticky enough to French kiss you. I mean, grab you before you can react. It also feeds twice a day, local fish mostly. But when it gets upset, the menu changes to mammals, including humans. And here's where it gets extra shitty. SCP-835 expels a slurry of feces, semen, bacteria, and parasites from a single chamber, dumping it into the surrounding water multiple times a day. That mixture carries a bacterium called 835I5. If it gets into your body through a suit breach, open wound, or exposed skin, you're cooked. You'll experience rapid weight gain, hardened skin, reduced intelligence, and polyps forming under the flesh. By the final stage, you literally become part of the reef. MTF Zeta-9 learned this firsthand. One rookie drifted too close and was pulled inside in seconds. The team leader went in after him. She was dragged inside the structure and forced to wade through warm, ankle-deep fluid that wasn't seawater. There, she found bodies lining the walls, all half-absorbed with bones growing outward and faces frozen mid-panic. Luckily, she escaped and filed her report before the infection took hold. Her final log cuts off halfway through a sentence. Anyway, containment is quite fishy, to say the least. The Foundation keeps it in open ocean because confining it makes it violently angry. They feed it, suppress it with chemicals when needed, and collect the shit before it spreads. SCP-1057. This SPC proves that the scariest thing in the water isn't what's in there, it's what isn't. And yeah, I said SPC, because honestly, this feels like a shark punching center problem. It was first spotted in a Florida community pool, where 2 swimmers were found dead, with massive bite wounds and chunks missing. Classic shark attack. Except when they looked in the pool, there was nothing there. No blood trail, no damage, no escape route. But then, something moved. What they found was a 5-meter-long absence of a tiger shark, a literal void shaped like a predator. And that doesn't stop it from behaving exactly like the real thing. It swims in patterns, hunts, even feeds. When they toss in food, it disappears straight into the void. Not digested, not dissolved, just sort of erased from existence. When the Foundation researched it, they found a handwritten note pinned to the pool office saying, "Panic means that the idea of a shark can be more dangerous than an actual shark. It can even be more dangerous than no shark at all." It turned out it was left by a group of anomalous artists. And by artists, I mean terrorists, called Are We Cool Yet? They make deadly reality-warping art installations for fun. This was one of them. Pretty sure the Shark Punching Center is punching the air right now. Their whole job is punching sharks, and the Foundation found one that's literally unpunchable. Anyway, containment is fantastically easy. The Foundation keeps it in a glass tank with UV lights and glowing meat, so they can track that weird invisible digestive system. But personally, I think they should just try shadowboxing it instead. SCP-5189. If you've ever been scared of seaweed brushing your leg, you were right to freak out. Because SCP-5189 is an absolute freak. It's basically kelp, green, wavy, anchored to the seafloor. Except at the base, where it anchors down, there's a mouth with rows of shark-like teeth hidden in the sediment. Get within 80 meters, and it starts whispering directly into your mind. And honestly, the plant got absolute game. The voice is soft and feminine, gently luring you closer. People describe feeling compelled to follow it. And if you do, you've officially been seduced by a piece of spinach. The whispers stop once you're within reach. Then, the kelp moves. Blades wrap around you with grip strength that makes escape nearly impossible. It drags you toward the mouth and starts feeding, one bite every 30 minutes. And here's the most disturbing part. It has no digestive system attached to the mouth, so the chewed flesh just floats back into the water while you're still alive. Talk about another horrible thirst trap. When 50 or more plants grow together, they form SCP-51891, a cooperative infestation. They work as a team, tearing victims apart and dividing the remains. MTF Gamma 6A found that out the hard way. During the first major outbreak, the entire squad was dragged under, torn apart, drowned, and dismembered. Some were even decapitated, since those teeth can pierce skulls. Containment is a disaster, since there is none. The Foundation just searches for infestations and burns them out before they spread. So yeah, while I fear for humanity, I also kind of envy the success rate. Kelp's definitely pulling more than me. SCP-3000. Remember the bloop? Yeah, this ain't that. But it might be worse. Somewhere in the Bay of Bengal, there's a big-ass eel just laying still somewhere deep in the ocean. It's technically a moray, but if morays were 800 kilometers long and a bit upsetting to look at. And before you ask, yes, it's the biggest eel ever recorded. And no, it's not the biggest thing I've seen. Relax, I meant SCP-169. Obviously. Anyway, the Foundation found it after hearing rumors of something ancient and massive chilling on the ocean floor. So they sent divers. Most didn't come back, and the ones who did kind of forgot why they left. You see, SCP-3000 isn't just a noodle. It's a cognitohazard. Get near it, and you start forgetting who you are. Crew members kept forgetting their names, their missions, or why they were even underwater. Then came the paranoia. Keep getting closer, and it's full ego death, followed by actual death, because this thing swallows you whole. I'm not kidding. There are miles of corpses still rotting inside it. Absolutely disgusting. But here's the moral crisis. The Foundation doesn't punch this one. They negotiate with it. Every time it eats someone, it leaks a chemical called Y909, the same drug they use to wipe memories across the entire organization. So now they follow the ATSAC protocol, meaning they literally feed it people in exchange for memory-erasing drugs. Containment is technically easy. Every few weeks, they send in a human sacrifice. The Alzheimer's snake eats them, drools out Y909, and the Foundation harvests it and keeps doing whatever it is they don't want people to remember. SCP-6426. It's a harbor vessel that also drinks blood. And yes, it sucks, because it's literally a sapient tugboat that behaves like a vampire. It first showed up in 3 Portland's harbor, where boats and bodies started vanishing. Then they found it, a rusted harbor tug, floating just fine, despite half its hull missing. But it wasn't just floating, it was feeding. See, like Nosferatu, this boat runs on blood. Victims are dragged aboard by red, vein-covered tendrils that latch to their spines and suck them dry. If you're lucky, you die. If not, you come back as SCP-6426-A, a brain-dead thrall that hunts more blood for the boat. It also reanimates corpses using parasitic barnacles and converts other vessels into mindless zombie ships. During interviews, yes, they interview it, the ship claims it chose to be a boat to escape divine control. No idea what that means, because trying to get a straight answer from this thing is absolutely draining. Anyway, what we do know is that it's extremely hostile. During its last rampage, it built an army with thralls, zombie ships, and walking flesh piles. The Foundation couldn't stop it. Shocking, I know. Luckily, a civilian combatant known only as the Gruel showed up, fought the boat hand to hull, and punched it through a dimensional portal. Must have really sucked for Nosferatu. Containment is brutal. The Foundation has it impaled with a naval ram inside a massive dry dock. If it twitches, it gets blasted with electrum and force-fed hardtack. All that, and they never once tried garlic. Seems like an oversight, honestly. SCP-2846. SCP-2846 isn't one anomaly. It's an entire war. And the ocean? That's the battlefield. It begins with SCP-2846-A, a gigantic octopus, nearly a kilometer long, that surfaces during violent storms. It hunts ships, crushes steel hulls like soda cans, and then dips. But it's not just attacking, it's digging. Every strike moves it closer to a sealed point deep beneath the seafloor, and nobody knows what happens when it gets there. That's where SCP-2846-B comes in, a ghostly dreadnought styled like a WWI warship. Apparently, it has serious beef with the Leviathan. Every time the Leviathan surfaces, the ship follows suit, and every time, they fight. It's all hands on deck with guns blazing, actual cannon fire, and the whole crew operating with the confidence of people who literally cannot die, which makes sense since the crew's been dead since 1685. According to the captain, they were cursed by the sea goddess Calypso, tasked with hunting this thing for eternity to prevent something worse. And they're not lying about the worse part, because deep beneath the digging site sits a sealed structure glowing at over 4,500 Kelvin, believed to be holding Titan-class entities. If it breaks open, we're looking at a world-ending event. So the ghost ship isn't just trying to beat the Leviathan's ass, it's trying to buy us time. Containment is basically just riding out the storm. The Foundation clears the area, coordinates with the ghost ship during battles, and keeps civilians away. That's it. They just watch the fight and hope the ship doesn't go down, because if it does, we're going down with it. SCP-455. SCP-455 is a cargo ship beached off the Chilean coast. From the outside, it's rusted, empty, and kind of normal. On the inside, absolutely not. When the Foundation sent teams in, they found dry hallways extending hundreds of meters past where the ship physically ends. One team descended over 40 floors, in a vessel that shouldn't have more than 6. Oh, and some rooms are constructed entirely from human teeth, with molars locked together like bricks. Others have tendons stretched across walls like support beams, all still pulsing. Exploration Team Zeta went in to map the interior. Within an hour, one vanished mid-sentence while standing in plain sight. The remaining 3 pushed deeper. 2 days later, rescue teams found one survivor in the cargo hold, completely mad, only repeating one thing: "The rust is inside me now." The others were never recovered, but their radios kept transmitting. Weeks later, they heard garbled voices, distorted laughter, and someone reading poetry, backwards. Every team since has either vanished, gone insane, or come back wrong. Time doesn't work right in there. People age years and hours, hallways loop, and rooms rearrange. Anyway, no one actually knows what goes on in here. The leading theory is that SCP-455 isn't just anomalous, it's alive. And it's hungry. Current containment is therefore easy, but a bit dumb. Just don't go inside, that's it. The Foundation's master plan is literally abandon ship before boarding it. So it looks like all hands are off deck, apparently. So there you have it. The ocean's packed with dementia eels, vampire boats with counting disorders, and a monster that will literally drag you into a glass of water. If you're after more SCP lore, check out the next video. Otherwise, maybe just stay on land.